hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Today's video is going to be another Cuba video. Today I'm going to be talking about the essentials that you bring to Cuba. Especially for United States citizens, it's very hard to figure out what to bring to Cuba because not all of us have gone. Actually, there's quite a bit of us that haven't gone or haven't even thought about going. But now that the borders are going to open and there's more travel, people are curious and they want to go and they don't exactly know what to bring. So that is what I'm going to do for you guys today for any of you all that are planning to go to Cuba in the next couple of years. Cuba has not yet changed very much, which is a positive thing for everybody that is traveling, but that does mean that you have to treat it a little bit differently and you do have to bring different things. So let's get right on into the Cuba travel essentials. So before I went, I found out that the water in Cuba is very different than the water in the United States or around the world, Canada, Europe, etc. The water there has a lot more sodium in it than a lot of us would find in our own countries, which is fine, but our bodies aren't used to it. So before I went, I put a couple bottles of water in a small checked bag that we all shared, and I am so glad that I decided to bring water with me. So I brought my own water with me, and I'm glad that I did because not only did I have water each night for my pills, but I got very, very thirsty walking around in the heat, and I desperately needed water each time I came back to my hotel, so I definitely got a lot of use of it. So that's why I put it in this video for the Cuba travel essentials, because it's just not as accessible to get to, and it has a lot of sodium in it, so it has a different taste, and I found it fine. I drank it without any problem. Definitely maybe pack just one bottle to make sure that you're always going to have at least a bottle. So before I left, I heard that mosquitoes are completely terrible in Havana, and I brought this bug bracelet. I mentioned this in my March travel favorites video, so if you want to go check that out, I'll link that down below. But I know a couple people on our trip did get bitten a couple times. I did not get bit at all, not once on this trip, and I don't know if it's because it was March and the mosquitoes just weren't out yet, but I didn't see any mosquitoes while I was there, but I mention it because I've heard that the mosquitoes are very bad. So I definitely suggest bringing this. I didn't get bit once. I definitely suggest it, and I honestly suggest it for any Caribbean / Latin American, South American country that has bad mosquitoes, because these things are the bomb. They really are. They just work so well. So my third Cuban travel essential is also about accessibility, and that is medicines, over-the-counter medicines. So because you just can't go down the street to a pharmacy, they just don't have things like that in Cuba, I suggest to bring anything over the counter that you might need. I brought this Imodium / stomach, it's kind of like Pepto-Bismol / Imodium and the same thing. So I brought this, and I brought like Gas-X and Allegra and just anything that I could get over the counter with me, because you don't want to get to another country where they don't have pharmacies. You literally can't get anything, and that would just be so miserable if you got sick like that. You want to save your butt. Literally, you want to save your butt. So make sure you bring your medicines, and you don't want to have a miserable week, so just bring whatever you need. So my fourth Cuban travel essential is something that I feel like I suggest for every single place that I travel to, but I feel like for obvious reasons I have to mention it, just because some people fail to bring this on their trips and they look like lobsters by the end of their week. But sunscreen. I cannot recommend this more. You guys really need to take care of your skin. It's very hot in Cuba, and the sun is right on you. You're closer to the equator if you live in the United States or Canada or Europe. We're not as close to the equator, but down in Cuba, you're closer, so it's obvious you have to bring your sunscreen. I know this is obvious and this is like preaching to the choir, but seriously, don't be stupid and not bring your sunscreen and look like a lobster. So bring something at least 30 SPF, if not more, and you should be good for the rest of the week. And my fifth And last Cuban travel essential is something that is the most important thing that you could bring. Although I wish my world didn't revolve around this thing. So sad, I know, but money. You need money, seriously. They do not have ATMs at all in the country. If you are from the United States, you cannot get money there. You have to bring cash or you will literally not survive the rest of the week. You don't have ATMs. You can't just go to the ATM and get money from your credit card or your debit card. You just can't. You don't have accessibility. It's not possible in Cuba, just like service and phone service isn't possible in Cuba. You have to bring the cash or you won't be able to survive. Like, it's so impossible to get money. So bring more money than you think that you're going to use, just so you can always have at least $100 to use in case of an emergency. So those are my 5 Cuban travel essentials. If you bring all those 5 things, I bet you'll have an amazing week with no troubles at all. If you guys have been to Cuba and you suggest anything else, please comment down below to help anybody else that are planning to go. Thumbs up if you liked this video and if you learned something new. And I will see you guys next video. Happy travels!